had a lot of people asking about J-1 visas. And specifically, we had a lot of individuals asking about the J-1 visa 2-year requirement. So for those of you who don't have a J-1 visa, or if you do and you're not familiar with the 2-year requirement, some J-1 visas have a requirement that you have to, after you complete your time in the US on the J-1 visa, that you have to return to your country and live there for 2 years, that you have to physically reside, you have to return to your country for 2 years. The J-1 visa is what they call, it's not a dual intent visa, which means that when you come on a J-1 visa, your intent is that you're coming to the United States with the intent to be here temporarily, not long-term, not to adjust your status to receive a green card. So part of that, as I mentioned, is that some J-1 visas have a 2-year requirement. You have to return to your country. In general, if you have a 2-year requirement on your visa itself, it'll say 2-year physical presence or 2-year residency requirement, that there is one, or it'll say no 2-year physical presence requirement. If you aren't sure, there is a way that you can get something called an advisory opinion. And the National Visa Center, the Department of State rather, has information on how to obtain an advisory opinion to find out whether or not you have that 2-year residency requirement. And I have seen individuals where on their visa, it says that there isn't a requirement, but on other documents they received, there is. So it is possible that there is contradictory information. And so it's very important that you know whether or not you have that 2-year residency requirement. And that is how you can find out if you aren't sure, is to request this advisory opinion. Now, what happens if you are here on your J-1 visa and you fall in love and then you think, oh my gosh, I want to be able to start my life here in the United States. We want to stay together. We don't want to be apart. What are my options? I have this requirement that I have to return to my home country for 2 years. We don't want to be apart. So there is a way that you can ask for a waiver of that requirement. And the most common way, the path of least resistance rather, is to see if your country, the country of origin where you're from, the government of that country, if they will give you something called a no objection statement. The reason that the J-1 visas typically have that 2-year requirement is because a government, whether it's the US or the government of your country, has provided financial assistance for you to come, typically to gain skills that will help for you to go back and fulfill a special area of expertise in your country of origin and be able to provide services. So because you've received that funding, that is why they would have that 2-year residency requirement. But you can ask for a no objection statement from your government. If you're able to obtain that no objection statement, then that would be what would allow you to be able to move forward and complete the green card process. If you don't receive a no objection statement, there are a few other ways that you can still request the waiver. You can get a waiver for an interested U.S. government agency. So if the U.S. government wanted to assist you with providing a waiver, it's a pretty rare case, but that could be if you would be persecuted in your home country. That's another way to receive a waiver. And then the other way is exceptional hardship to a U.S. citizen or a child. And exceptional hardship, immigration has extreme hardship and exceptional hardship. Exceptional hardship is the highest level of hardship. And essentially that means that the U.S. citizen would suffer more than just mere separation, more than suffering just by being apart or financially. It has to be something really, really serious. But that would be another way that you could get a waiver of that requirement. And then the other thing we've had people ask is, okay, so if I don't get the no objection statement, and if I don't get a waiver, but I complete my 2 years, at what point can I file for my green card? So you have to actually wait to complete those full 2 years, and then you can begin the green card process. So I hope that gives you some clarity, some general information on J-1 visas and that waiver of the residency requirement.